The April 23rd, 2024 regular Planning Commission meeting is called to order. The time is 6 p.m. If you are participating telephonically, please mute your phone unless you are speaking. Also, when speaking, please state your name for those streaming the meeting. As a reminder to attendees, the meeting is being streamed live. The camera is located in the back of the council chambers above the clock. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you, Commissioner Seals. In Seat A, we have Commissioner Simon Brown.
Here.
Commissioner Seals. Seat B.
Present.
Seat C, Commissioner Sage L.
Present.
Seat D is vacant. And Seat E, Commissioner Stafford.
Present.
And Commissioner Seals, you do have a quorum with Commissioners, excuse me, Brown, Seals, Sage L, and Stafford being present.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first item of business is approval of the agenda. Before changes are discussed, are there conflicts of interest to declare? If the commission would like to discuss anything under the consent agenda, such as the minutes, they need to be removed from the consent agenda and placed under new business at this time. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing no changes to the agenda will stand as presented unless objection is raised. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Commissioner Brown, I move the agenda as written.
May I have a second?
Commissioner Stafford, second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Stafford to approve the agenda. Next on the agenda are reports. Do we have a report from the City Deputy Administrator?
Thank you, Chair. It's not a report, but it's kind of an update. One is the parade, the 4th of July parade this year will have a new route. So it'll actually go down Cruzy and then down Herning. And so that new route will be released here next week. So just kind of planting the seed that it will be a new route this year based on some of the things we've heard in the past about going sharp turns and some delays in the way that it is keeping everybody in sync. So if you would like, the parade director, Bethany, can come and give us an update on how we are going to, like our theme and how that's going to look this year. She can be at the next Planning Commission if you'd like. Also, it's mobile food vendor season. We are in the process of really centralizing the mobile food vendor permit process. It's a little bumpy right now between Public Works and Planning, but it's something that we're considering to just bring a little bit more efficiency right now. If they're at on private property, it goes to Planning, and if they're at a public park, it goes to Public Works. And so we're really trying to centralize that. The other thing is we are having we are one of the sponsors, the borough being the other, the Mat-Su Economic Summit. This is something that happens twice a year in Southeast, twice a year in Fairbanks, twice a year on the Kenai Peninsula, never been in the Mat-Su. So this is a result of the SEDS, is to let industry and the businesses show off what is a success for them here and what isn't. So tomorrow at Evangelos, we'll have a full day of industry, showcasing industry. And on Thursday, we'll be taking a bus to the Wasilla Airport to show them the expansion we're doing right now. We're turning dirt, and then out to the Point Mac. The other thing is we are in the first draft of our comp plan update RFP that's going to go out to the street. Some of the things to keep in mind is we have this overlay as a subchapter. It's the downtown overlay requirements. And it's something that needs to be considered probably by the planning commission first, because right now it's a pretty large document with design standards. We know that DOT is going to have quite a bit of construction because of the couplet will start next year, and so you may want to consider temporarily suspending those requirements as we go through a 4-year construction. But it's something to consider when we put the RFP out to bid. One of the suggestions that our planners have recommended is to design something that is quite easy to administer. And even if you have to start small and then kind of build out, maybe start with just a few blocks for some standards and then build out. But I did bring a copy of the, I don't know, I think it's about 65 pages of design standards that you guys just want to consider as we move forward. We anticipate putting that out on the streets May 15th. So, and it is in the budget for 2025. The last thing is we're doing this ERP assessment for the city, which we're really looking at all the systems that each position is using on a day-to-day basis, and we'll be evaluating a new financial system to be a part of the improvement plan starting July 1st. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a city attorney online tonight? The next item on the agenda is the public hearing. We do not have any items scheduled for the public hearing, so we move on to persons to be heard. We are now at persons to be heard, a time for members of the public to share their views with the Planning Commission. This is not a question and answer period or time for dialogue. Speakers may be referred to the administrations, or issues raised may be taken under advisement by the commission or administration. Anyone wishing to step forward may do so at this time. With no one wishing to speak, the next item of business is the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please read the items for approval under the consent agenda into the record, please?
Thank you, Commissioner Seals. Tonight on the consent agenda, we have the minutes, the regular meeting minutes of April 9th, 2024.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
Commissioner Stafford, I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Sajal, second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Stafford and seconded by Commissioner Sajal to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there an objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. There is no new business or unfinished business, so we'll move directly to communications. Are there any comments on the communications as presented? Commissioner Seals, I was looking at the Borough Planning Commission meeting minutes, and I had talked to Borough Manager Mike Brown when I met him at the Chutes and Ladders basketball game, and I stressed a very important need for the city and for the borough to communicate for future development here in the valley. We all need to be on the same page, and we all need to work together. Are there any other comments by the commission on this? Okay, hearing none, move on to audience comments. We are now at audience comments, a time for members of the public to share their views with the commission. This is not a question and answer period or a time for dialogue. Speakers may be referred to administration, or issues raised may be taken under advisement by the council or the administration. Is there anyone present who would like to address the commission? Welcome. Please write your name and contact information on the sign-up sheet. If you haven't done so earlier, when you are finished, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, my name is Brian Sand, S-A-N-D. My main reason of coming here tonight, I've been hearing rumors, or I guess not even rumors, but talk through some of my friends who are real estate investors and stuff in the community here in Wasilla about possible changes to the beautification standards that take place when you buy commercial property, prominently, I guess. And I've never gone through it yet, but my parents did. And going through the packet, it seems pretty big and kind of tedious to go through and figure out exactly what needs to be done. And the main issue I see with that is, with me having real estate investment and looking at buying more stuff, is say you have a lot that's a gas station or a strip mall that's fully paved, and now you're gonna have to remove all the parking for all those businesses and stuff, that because of ability to get the grass and the fencing and trees and all the different aspects that come into that. And if that was already an issue with parking, now you're making it worse. It's gonna hurt those businesses and stuff. And then also, say someone's looking at for a piece of property to use a business that's more storage based, where they have inventory like trailers or cars, and then you're limiting how much space they have to run that business, of how much stuff they can keep on hand. And then just the increased costs, where if it could be simpler, where you say keep a certain standard of cleanliness and have some trees and some fence and whatnot, but don't require the however much percentage of grass and all that kind of stuff. It seems like it would make more sense going forward, because for me personally, looking at buying stuff now and in the future, it's like, what can I really expect for, if I say I buy a strip mall or gas station, it's like, okay, so now I'm gonna tear all this stuff up, all that cost, then put stuff in, and then you have the tenants or whatever who are like, hey, our business is hurting now because of what we had to do, what I had to do. Well, then I'm like, well, I'm just following city code and whatnot. So those are just some concerns I had and try to bring up. So thanks.
Thank you very much. Audience participation and audience comments is now over. Madam Clerk, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Commissioner Seals. Well, I just wanted to, I feel lucky to go first, but I just wanted to welcome Commissioner Simon Brown. I'm very happy. I was watching the meeting last night and was very happy to see that you're now on the commission. And we're still down one seat, so just to make you aware, we actively in the office, anybody who comes in, even tonight, our guests, I said, do you live in the city? And they said, yes, they do. I said, well, guess what? We would love to have you on the Planning Commission, or at least look into it. We have information on the city website, as well as 3 extremely competent clerks who can speak to the details about it if you have questions, and we would love to have another commissioner on. And just to let everybody know, also we have our next meeting, which is May 14th, and we're actively looking for people to speak at the meetings and provide updates. But I do see in the future we're going to be having a lot of things on the agenda, and thank you for having these extra meetings, or not extra, just the regular meetings, I should say. Thank you, that's all.
Commissioner Deputy Nygard, do you have any comments?
Yes, I do. Thanks, Chair. Just some things to be aware of. We have approached the borough about a legislative change that just passed their planning commission. That is the allow for liquor license. Currently, we can only have one per decade that's transferred from the borough into the city, but state law says 3. And so we have asked them to change that to allow 3 liquor license transfers from the borough into the city that pass their planning commission. It will be going to the assembly, so if you could just call your assembly person, let them know how important that is to our economic growth that we're having. The second thing is the borough is not requiring business license anymore. This is quite a change, and so anyone who's come into the city now will have to have a state license and a city license, but the borough will not be requiring that. The last thing is we have been very engaged with the borough on these economic development incentives that they have. They are reviewing them and in the process of allowing us to execute on some of those for our airport. So there again, if you could call your assembly person and let them know how important those tax holidays and other incentives are that they've had on the books for a long time but never been asked to cash in one of our cards for some of our future tenants. I highly encourage that you contact them and fully support us with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Sajel, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you. I just want to welcome Mr. Simon Brown to our group. Looking forward to some hearty discussions with him in the future.
Commissioner Stafford, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I also want to welcome Mr. Brown on the board. I've watched you on YouTube and the city meetings for a long time, and so it's a pleasure to have you here. I think you bring a lot of knowledge and experience, and looking forward to it. Mr. Sands, thank you for coming out and speaking. We need public participation. We went through several rounds of special meetings with the council on Title 16 and had almost no public show up. So it's great to see you here tonight. And let me also say, if you're a city resident, sign up for we got an empty seat down there that you'd make a perfect fit for.
Or down there.
Yeah, give Melvin some company, please. And then just to let the commission know, I will be out of state both meetings in May. The May 14th one, I think I can call in for. I should be able to. The other one, I probably will not be able to call it for. But now that we're not down to just 3, that I can miss a meeting and it won't foul things up. The only other comment I wanted to make as a commissioner, I watched last night's city council meeting where the city council was discussing increase in pay and pay for more meetings. And we know being on here, we only get paid for one meeting a month, no matter how many we do. And none of us took this spot for the money, but it would be, I just want to go on the record of saying it would be nice that, if we're having all the bunch of meetings too, it'd be nice to at least get some consideration, because the council certainly does. So otherwise, thank you, city, for your hard work, and that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Stafford. My comments are, I'm really excited that Simon got to the Planning Commission. We may sit on opposite sides of the political spectrum, but I respect this man highly. He's an American, he's a patriot, and I really deeply heartfelt appreciate his opinion on matters. And please, it's not a hard job unless you're in this seat. I really would appreciate it if you think about it. You could be a commissioner, and I appreciate the city's hard work and the deputy administrator's passion for making this city better. So thank you all tonight, and that's all my comments at this time. Would you like to speak, Simon? Melvin told me to tell you no.
Thanks, Chair, for that, and thanks for the audience participation. I did have a question. I've been away for a while. There was a special committee appointed to look at landscaping. Did that ever come? What were the results of that?
It's in the works right now with the city attorney.
Oh, okay.
And Title 16. Basically, I'm going to put it to you, Mr. Brown, is the city wants the landscaping code to be business friendly,
Yeah.
and understood by a 12-year-old.
Yes.
So we haven't picked the 12-year-old yet. Kathy Cottle has some grandchildren that she said would be available. But, and I want to assure our audience member, the city is working hard, as well as the Planning Commission is working hard to make it business friendly. We're making Title 16 of child easy, friendly to use. What's gone on in the past in Wasilla is the past. Right now, we are moving forward to a bright future with business being in partners with the city. And if you have any more comments, that was my
No,
answer.
listen to the audience comment, that's why I was just wondering where that was and stuff, so.
It's in the works. The city attorney is working very hard. From what I hear, it's looking really good. And Wasilla is open for business. And that's the future I see for my kids and my grandkids.
And the second piece of that, there was also talk about having for lack of a better word, a cheat sheet to go with that, so.
There,
A quick guide.
we've seen a couple examples of the cheat sheet so far, but like I said, it's gonna be columnized, easy to understand. Business will be able to know right up front what they're doing. There's some examples of stuff that's gone wrong in the past. Sherwin-Williams just added warehouse space to the back of their building. They had to put landscaping down the whole property line and a parking island that now blocks their snow removal. So, we're trying to get this together and make it right. That's our goal.
Thank you.
Hearing no other business, I'm adjourning this meeting unless objection is raised. Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned at 6:22 PM. Thank you all.
You didn't explain the gift.
Hey, I didn't give the gift.